welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Mike. And it's part 2 of our look at TTYL. What does it mean? What's going on? Why has the world gone crazy? Are we writing sentences with letters only and not words? Well, yeah, in some cases when it's a very common phrase and you're communicating in a casual way using your phone with friends, you can actually say things like OMG, LOL, TTYL, things like that.
Because it saves a lot of time, right?
It saves tons of time, especially when you're typing on your phone. Now, do you write messages like this?
Well, when I type text messages,
You do?
I do use these abbreviations because it saves a lot of time. But when I am having a conversation verbally with my friends, I don't usually use these abbreviations.
Yeah, I wouldn't say them either. And I have to say, I always have the little English teacher fairy and the English teacher devil when I'm writing.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I feel like it
Don't do
saves time. And I'm like, no, it's not the way. It's not a complete sentence.
It's not proper English.
So the funny thing is, I don't use these very much, but I do use emojis.
Oh, do you?
So I've gone past the letters to the pictures. I will not usually write OK or TTYL, but I will use the thumbs up.
Thumbs up,
Or
okay.
I'll use the waving hand or something like that.
I
don't know.
Because it's cuter,
I
so you think
partly,
it's okay?
And also the good thing is, because in Taiwan, you know, local people, they might not know TTYL, but everyone knows a waving hand, right?
A picture says 1,000 words,
That's
right?
exactly right. So TTYL can help communicate, and emojis can help communicate even when the language is not familiar. So phones have, you know, made things interesting, certainly changed communication, made it more convenient in some cases, and slightly more confusing in other cases. Let's read our article and find out more about this new form of talking.
BRB, be right back.
Ooh, I knew that one.
TTYL dates back to the start of the Internet. People first used it and other short forms in Internet chat rooms. They were easier and faster to type. When instant messaging platforms appeared, TTYL became more popular.
So we're looking at part 2 of what does TTYL mean, and we already explained that TTYL means talk to you later, and a lot of people use TTYL because it saves time and it's become really, really popular, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people used to say this and then they just started to write it. So it's a very well-known phrase, a casual way of ending a phone call.
Okay, well, let's go into today's article. TTYL dates back to the start of the internet. When you say dates back to the start of the internet, that's when people started using the internet, right?
Yes.
When would that be?
Probably the mid-90s, late 90s.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, people were using it back in the 70s, but that was only computer people in universities. It became common for people with AOL and things like that in the early 90s. Instant messaging, right?
Exactly. That's when people can start chatting with each other. People first used it and other short forms in internet chat rooms. They were easier and faster to type. I remember that. It was such an amazing thing. It's like when you can start chatting with people instantly.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they only had these internet computers maybe at work, at school. So it was also a way of writing your message while your boss wasn't looking. But you don't want to write for too long because your teacher might come over and say, hey, what are you doing? You're not typing your homework, you're typing instant messaging. Because when you're using a computer, especially when you're using that keyboard with the buttons and the letters, that is to type. It comes from typewriters, the old machines, when you used to press each letter and it would hit the paper. But now, of course, we're using it using electronics, digitally, but it's the same thing. So you're not clicking on a mouse, you're not just touching the screen of your phone, you're actually pressing on those letters to write words and use the numbers and things like that. You are typing. All right, back to the article. It says, when instant messaging platforms appeared, TTYL became more popular. So a few people were using it, but as we said, instant messaging platforms like Microsoft Instant Messenger, things like
right.
that. They became very popular. Everyone had it on their computer. It was kind of a normal thing. So of course, the more people use it, the more common it becomes. The more other people see it, the more they use it, and so on and so on.
And these instant messaging system or platforms really changed the way people communicate with people all around the world. And then back then we can start chatting with people from different countries, and it was such an amazing, opportunity to meet people. Instant is an adjective. Instant messaging, that means you do it right away. Instant means right now, right? So if you're sending an instant message to somebody, that means you send it and they get it right away.
There you go. And a platform, well, it could be anything. A platform is really just the floor or a stage, something you put things on, something you stand on, something you build on. When we use it, though, talking about computers and the internet, it's basically like a website or kind of like a program or app, but a platform is a little different because it will allow you, the user, to go on and put your own stuff on that platform. YouTube is a good example. Of course, it's a place to watch videos, but it's also a place you can put your own videos and do things with videos. It's a video sharing and watching platform. So basically means it's software, but it has lots of options and different people can use it in different ways.
That's right. And we said that instant messaging platforms appeared. Appear is a verb. Appear basically means to show up. But when they say that instant messaging platform appeared, that means when it was first introduced, right? So then we didn't have this before, and then when it suddenly appeared, it suddenly showed up, and everybody were introduced to this, and we were all very excited, right?
Exactly. We don't use discovered or invented because something could have been invented or discovered before, but when it appears, it kind of gets out there to the public, and everyone knows about it now. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll be back with more TTYL.
That's right.
Later, people loved to use it in SMS messages. That's because those text messages only allowed people to use 160 characters. Today, you can type TTYL or TTYL. Both forms are fine. Or you can use other short forms like see you or 881. They're also common ways to say goodbye.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're talking about TTYL and a lot of those other short little phrases we've turned into words to communicate more easily. As we just read, a lot of these things first began and became popular with instant messaging in the early days of the internet. People back then were typing them on their computers, and often you didn't have time or space to write out the whole message, so they found shorter versions. And then, when the technology changed a bit more, and we could now instant message using our phone, these types of things became even more useful, right?
That's right. I remember when the first chat rooms were introduced, a lot of people were meeting people, and the first things they want to know is how old people were and if they were female or male or their location. So they would usually write A/S/L. So it's age, sex, and location, right?
Interesting. Okay, that's kind of cool. And it says later people love to use it in SMS messages. These are text messages, the kind of thing you get on your phone. If it's WhatsApp, if it's Line, it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same thing. And remember the first phone text messages we could send, you would have to write each letter by pressing the numbers.
Oh my goodness, I remember my Nokia.
So ABC, you'd have to press 2, 1 time A, 2 times B, 3 times C. So writing a message took a really, really long time.
I don't know if students these days, they know what you're talking about.
The struggle was real. I still have a pain in my phone from writing, on my thumb from writing all those messages. But the point is that the machines, the technology, it didn't make writing easy, right? So finding ways to make it easier was good for everyone. That's because, as the article says, those text messages only allowed people to use 160 characters. Not only did you have to write using the number pad, but you could only write 160 characters. In other words, very short messages.
I'm very, very limited too. So if they really want to say something, they want to say a lot of things, it would be hard to write everything down. They would have to use these abbreviations.
Yes.
And allow people to type only 160 characters. Allow is a verb. To allow something means to let someone do something. Maybe my teacher allow me to play outside, right? To give you permission to do something.
That's right. Or to make it possible to do something.
You're right.
Right? A character in this case, when we're talking about characters with writing, we're generally talking about letters. Each time you type something on your screen of your computer or phone, that is probably a letter, or it could be a question mark, it could be a period, it could be a space. But each time it moves over one step, you've probably written one character. I think today on Twitter, you can write 270 characters.
Really? Because I know that when they first were introduced, I think on Twitter you were only allowed to
140 or something. Yeah,
it was maybe like a really, really short post.
Exactly. And remember, if you're writing hello to you, you also have to count all those spaces between the letters. So obviously the sentences have to be quite short.
So today you can type TTYL like in capital letters or TTYL like lowercase. Both forms are fine. Or you can use other short forms like CU or 881. So see you, we know that's like see you later, see you, right?
See you, right?
But 881, do you know why they use 881?
Bye-bye?
Yes!
Is it?
Yes, that's in Chinese though. So if you were to use that in Canada or in America, I don't think they would understand 881.
Yeah, I'd have to probably explain that, unless they were from Taiwan, in which case the people would understand.
That's right. So there are also common ways to say goodbye.
Okay, I kind of like how in Mandarin we often use numbers instead of words. There was a famous pizza restaurant, right, that had I'm hungry, Daddy, I'm hungry, hungry, or something. Back in the old days. Anyways, these types of things are common, not only on the internet, but also in lots of different languages. And it's also interesting to see how different languages turn these short ideas into things you can write in your text. Something that's common, it's easy to find, it's everywhere. It's not weird or strange or unusual. It's very normal, regular, and everyday. It's very common. Yeah, it's very common to see these things in our text messages because text messages are very common as well. Well, thanks for joining us. None of you guys out there are common. You're all wonderful in your own ways. We appreciate the time you spend with us, and we look forward to seeing you again.
TTYL.
I was just bye-bye. 881.
881.
It doesn't make any sense in English. See ya.
TTYL dates back to the start of the internet. People first used it and other short forms in internet chat rooms. They were easier and faster to type. When instant messaging platforms appeared, TTYL became more popular. Later, people loved to use it in SMS messages. That's because those text messages only allowed people to use 160 characters. Today, you can type TTYL or TTYL. Both forms are fine. Or you can use other short forms like CU or 881. There are also common ways to say goodbye.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下这课的重点单字。第一个 type 动词打字。I can type very quickly. 我打字速度很快。下一个单字 instant 形容词即时的、立即的。Instant messaging 表示即时通讯。The movie was an instant success. 这部电影一上映就获得成功。下一个单字 platform 名词平台。Instagram is a good platform for photographers. IG 对摄影师来说是一个好平台。最后一个单字 character 名词字源。 The address was written in Japanese characters. 这个地址是用日文字来写的。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 date back to 追溯到回溯到，它的后面常要接某个时间。我们来看看这个例句 The tradition dates back to the Qing dynasty. 这个传统可以追溯到清朝。Dynasty 指的是朝代。下一个文法 A allows B to 加动词，表示 A 让 B 可以做某件事情。Allow 是得以准许的意思。Money allows us to meet our basic needs. 金钱得以让我们满足基本需求。在这里 meet 指的是满足、达到 ，basic 就是基本的。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
The National Taichung Theater includes the Grand Theater, which can seat up to 2,007, the Playhouse with seating for 796, and the Black Box with 200 seats, as well as restaurants, stores, and the Sky Garden. The Grand Theater's curved walls make for very good sound quality. The Playhouse has a changeable performance space. Both theaters are ideal for musicals, dramas, dance performances, opera, and concerts. The smallest theater, the Black Box, is below ground level and is connected to the outdoor theater.
See you next time!